Welcome to this Fabricville tutorial. Today we are going to make this little spring dress with an empire waistline, gathered and elasticized neckline, and puff raglan sleeves. I made it using the McCall's M7116 pattern in this lovely printed fabric. To make this dress we will need the McCall's M7116 pattern, pins, scissors, a chalk, some thin elastic, a 30 cm long invisible zipper, flowy fabric, and assorted thread. You also need a sewing machine and steam iron. I'm going first to place the pieces of the pattern onto the fabric. For the bodice, I fold the fabric in two, pin the pieces, and cut. The skirt pattern pieces have to be cut on the bias of the fabric, which will give a nice drape to the dress. Then I transfer all the notches that will be useful to assemble the dress. Using my serger or a zigzag stitch, I've finished the following edges: the upper edges of the bodice and its lateral sides, the upper, bottom edges and side seams of the sleeves, and the side seams of the skirt. To begin, I gather the lower edge of the front bodice between the notches. To do this, I baste two closely spaced lines with a long stitch, then I pull the thread ends to gather the fabric. Now I lay the bodice front to the bodice back, right sides together. I'm going to stitch the right side seam, but on the left side I will stitch from the top to the notch and I will leave the remaining part open. And I press the seam open. Now I stitch the sleeve seam and I press the seam open. I turn the lower edge of the sleeve to the inside at 2 cm and I press. I stitch, leaving a 2 cm opening to insert the elastic. I cut two pieces of elastic, each 10 cm long. I insert the elastic through the opening in the casing. The elastic will be placed between the two markings. I pin the elastic, then stitch across the casing, catching the elastic. Now I pin the sleeve to the bodice armhole edge, matching the markings. I stitch, then serge the edge and press the allowance down. To form the neckline casing, I turn the upper edge of the bodice to the inside at 2 cm and press. Then I stitch the neckline and leave a 2 cm opening to insert the elastic. I cut a piece of elastic according to the guide, which is piece 7 of the pattern. Using a safety pin attached to the elastic, I insert the elastic in the opening and through the entire casing. Then I stitch the elastic ends together. Now I stitch the opening closed while stretching the elastic. Next, I prepare the skirt. I will lay the back and the front right sides together and I'm going to stitch only on the right side. Then I press the seam open. I will now pin the bodice to the skirt, matching centers and side seam. I'll have to adjust the gathers in place. Now it's time to sew the invisible zipper. I will sew it using my invisible zipper foot. Don't hesitate to watch our tutorial about invisible zippers if you need. Then I finish the left side seam and I press it open. To finish, I fold the bottom hem and stitch it. And our dress is ready. Enjoy sewing and thanks for watching.